Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. First, I want to thank those that listen to the podcast who booked with me this past month to target black grouper. We had a really good month, and again, thank you guys for booking with me. And if you guys want to see what we caught, you can see the pictures that I post up on Instagram. I'm behind as far as the posting goes, so I still have a good amount of black grouper pictures I have to post up on there. And I'm getting caught up on my fishing reports. I just have not had enough time to do much except for sleep and get the boat ready, come home and do it all over again. But I have a few tips I want to share with you guys as far as Memorial Day weekend goes, as far as what I'm hearing about the dolphin fishing. And a lot of you guys are going dolphin fishing, I know that. So I wanted to offer you guys a couple insights for this weekend. Fishing amongst the crowds. The forecast looks like it's going to be beautiful. And for those of you who really want to chase the dolphin, here's what I know. The fish right now, the bigger fish are on sea turtles, okay? So this time of year, a lot of the fish are migrating with sea turtles and on pieces of debris. So the best bet for you guys is to, sometimes, it's not the smartest thing to leave super early in the morning. Okay, it's not, because the rest of the fleet is going to be following you. And when you find a piece of debris on a Saturday and you're the first one to find it, you're going to get covered up with boats. So my advice to you guys is to sleep in, head out there around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning offshore. And what's going to happen is the sea turtles are going to pop up around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe 11. Okay, they're going to wait for that, what I call the sun shift. The haze is going to burn off, and if it's a bright sunny day, those sea turtles will pop up around 10 o'clock in the morning when the sky cleans up, the haze burns away, and that water looks really purple. So just know that. And how to spot a sea turtle, you have to be very cautious about this because those turtles will dive on you, and you'll see 5 or 6 birds. And they're going to be moving to the north with the current, and you're going to be like, oh, that's a pack of fish, but more than likely that's a sea turtle, and the last thing you want to do is scare that turtle. So you have to approach the turtle from the outside, run your lines really long, and try to do wide sweeps of your line in front of the turtle on the birds, okay? So it's very tricky because you can really mess up good fishing by running right on top of that sea turtle, and then all of a sudden you're going to be looking for him. So if your turtle does push down, just know that sea turtle is going to be pushing to the north, and you can calculate his drift, okay? So mark the sea turtle, and then you can figure out which way he's swimming, and just if you have binos, you can really start looking for the birds and figure out which way he's going. That's just a little tip for you guys, because the bigger fish are on sea turtles right now, and as well as pieces of debris. And good luck with the pieces of debris out there right now, because if you find one on the weekend, you're a sitting duck with all the other boats out there. So everybody is running and gunning and looking for birds. Honestly, I would find a piece of debris, hit it, and leave. So also, too, on the debris this time of year, you're going to have the wahoo. And really, if you have a lot of small schoolies around, you find a really nice big piece of debris with netting and stuff, the bigger the debris, that's what's going to have the wahoo on it. Approach it either with a planer. You can set the planer down and make your run underneath them, diving plug. But there's going to be a lot of weed around. So my best advice to you guys is to approach that debris with vertical jigs. I use titanium, so that what happens is they'll slash right above the vertical jig, but it is what it is. I try to have one always ready because, man, there's going to be some really nice wahoo and big numbers of them underneath those packs of debris. And it's just so much fun to catch them on spinning rods. It's just a fun thing to do. Now, I always have my best of luck when there's lots of boats around using small rig dink ballyhoos, more so than bare lures. So my advice is to stop by the Key Largo Fisheries, pick up a case of dink ballyhoos, small ones. Now the ballyhoo are running a little bit small in the bait stores right now. And there's not a lot of frozen ballyhoo around because there's a shortage of workers and all that stuff, and there's just kind of like a short stock because it's just people are just having problems getting people to pack shit. So you can stop at a couple things for ballyhoo. You can stop at the Ace True Value Hardware store in Tavernier, and they have ballyhoo there, along with a nice selection of lures. Just stop in there. They're really, really good, okay? That's my little store that I go to here in Tavernier, and I wanted to share that with you guys. It's better than running the West Marine or running anywhere else. They have a nice selection of some frozen baits in there and a nice selection of tackle. So if you're in the Tavernier area or driving through Tavernier, stop at the Ace Tavernier and in Tavernier. So you can Google it, you can find out where it's at, but that's where I would recommend you guys go for a last minute. They got some nice little Dolphin lures in there. They carry a great selection of Halco lures as well for tuna fishing that I talk about. So stop in there. Also to some line, and just stop in there and pick up some stuff. If you're, like I said, if you're in Tavernier, it's a great little place to hit when the crowds are around, because there's just everybody's going to the main shops and everything's going to be gutted. So yeah, there's Billy Baits. He's got Billy Baits in there. All the things you need. Billy Baits, another great lure for you guys heading down. Also, too, you guys need to pick up the Isla Morada Flyer. Okay, it's an awesome bait, and I would appreciate it if you guys go and check out my new blog, where I talk about the Mahi migrations, and I also talk about selecting lures, okay, and how to pick how to catch wahoo on cloudy days. In those two blogs I talk about lures as well for dolphin fishing. So again, this weekend, a couple things you guys need to be ready for. You guys need to have some dink ballyhoos ready, okay? Because that's what they're going to want around turtles, okay? Your small Billy Baits and shit are going to catch your smaller fish, but your rig ballyhoo, your small dink rig ballyhoo over your sea witches are going to catch your dolphin when you find the turtle. Approach your turtle cautiously. Don't go running up on it like everybody else is. And if somebody else runs up on it and pushes it down, try to figure out which way that turtle is going to swim, because those people will stay there. They have no idea what's going on what the fish is on. They don't know how to fish a turtle. So use what you learned from this podcast and fish strategically this weekend. It'll put some fish in your box. Don't be in a hurry to leave in the morning. Fish later in the day. If it's calm and flat, the fishing's going to die out by mid-afternoon. Head out there in the afternoon, 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wait till the breeze picks up. You can do some serious damage. There's going to be some nice big blackfin tunas along the ledge this weekend. Fish conch down to French. Now, typically this time of year, Molasses Reef will hold large blackfin tunas as well. So I would recommend that you fish that area if you're really looking for the blackfins, just outside the edge, sometimes 175 out to 225, and then fish that 125 zone where the sailfish are at along that edge there. The sails will get in there. We caught our biggest blackfin last year flatlining for yellowtail, and they were in 100 foot. So you just don't know where they're going to be at. So you got to do some exploratory stuff. Live bait fishing obviously will do some damage off kites, and if you can't get any pilchards, I'm going to talk about where you can find some pilchards too. But if you can't get the pilchards, you can, like I said, little blue runners work very well for blackfins. They want a flashy silvery bait. So just saying, flat lines, purchase the mutton crusher, and then do some drift fishing for blackfins, power drift with the current, and then troll for the blackfins deep with heavy sinkers if you don't have downriggers. I mean, there's just so many different ways you can catch them. You can mark them on your sonar. You can put the baits right in front of them and catch them. We do that. I do that. That's one of my favorite ways to catch those bigger fish. Drift fish in the hump, they'll be there, but like I said, your biggest fish will be in along the edge this weekend. Chasing flying fish. My favorite sea witch to use along the edge for blackfins, which I catch a lot of big blackfins on, is an all crystal sea witch with blue mylar. Again, you can pick those up at any tackle shop up by Boynton, Pompano Beach. You can find them online. You can go to my tackle shop and order them, but it's a little too late. You won't get them. So, again, all crystal sea witch rigged over a dink ballyhoo with 30-pound to 40-pound fluorocarbon is going to catch you a lot of big blackfins. You got to run them way the hell back there. I call that, you troll them like Jersey style. I call it North Carolina style. You run them way back there and you'll catch them. So you don't need the live bait. I mean, for blackfins, you will catch them just like that. I mean, right now the fish are spawning. They're really stupid, so they'll eat about, like I said, when they're spawning and they're aggressive, especially in the evenings, you will catch some really nice blackfins if that's what you want to catch. So I'll give you guys a few tips there. The fish that molasses down the French up to the elbow area for molasses, French, that area, the Key Largo hump area, that's going to have some nice blackfins on it this weekend. Fish inside the Key Largo hump. The fish will pop up a little later in the day, or they're going to be there early. It's a great little spot. So fish around that 300 zone. You'll catch some nice dolphin in there later in the day, maybe. Like I said, we did some damage in there last year around this time, so on big blackfins running planers. There was no weed last year, but there's a lot of weed this year. A lot. I'm seeing it stacking up in my marina. Pilchards. I'm seeing them at Tavernier Creek. Now, it depends on the tide, and you can find there's those little islands right before you enter into the slow no wake zone. And they're kind of stacking up in there depending on the outgoing or incoming. And you can catch some nice pinfish there as well. The pinfish are there. So, and like I said, the mangrove islands by Tavernier Creek, follow those little channels. They're going to be there really early in the morning. So that's another area where you guys can look for the pilchards this weekend if you're running through the creek. But you guys got to be out there at sunrise or they're going to be popping at closer to the low tide. Closer to the houses there, you'll see the houses and then that little area there. So I'm not going to tell you where exactly, but you can use your, just use your brain and you'll find them. Look for the birds and pop it in Tavernier Creek. And I've been seeing them in there. I don't know what size they are, so I don't get into that. I've got other stuff I like to use this time of year. But and if you need the cigar minnows for the dolphin, I highly recommend that you guys find some cigars. Go to Alligator Light, Davis Reef. There's cigar minnows have been plentiful there as well. Sabiki them if you're gonna, or you can chum them heavily and then use the ballyhoo to hoop up a bunch of cigars. But you got to do that really early in the morning. Okay, what'll happen is the whole fleet's going to be there by 7, 8 o'clock. So my recommendation for you guys really wanting to get the bait is to get your asses out of bed, get out there and have things set at 6:15, get your bait early, and then get out before the fleet gets there because it's going to be a madhouse this weekend with charter boats. So if you're going to do your bait, go to the reef. If you want ballyhoo, go to the reef early, 6 o'clock, get your chum out. Depths are, like I said, they're right along the edge of the reef right now, and get that chum out, get it rolling. The ballyhoo will come up behind the boat in the dark. They can't see you. Once that sun comes up, it's over. You're not going to get them. They're going to back off. It's going to get harder. So if you get caught up catching yellowtails and you're going to get the ballyhoo later, don't wait because it's going to be over. So I gave you guys some advice. Whether you take it or not, that's up to you. If you're looking to catch the grouper, I laid it all out in the grouper course. I don't know. It's there for you. The guys are doing very well catching blacks, reds. They're kicking ass. So they're sending me the pictures. So if you really want to get dialed in on the reef fishing, purchase the grouper bonus. But if you really want to get dialed in on everything, purchase the reef strategy course. It gives you everything you need to be successful on the reef. I lay it out to you. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse this morning. So that's all I got, guys. One last thing, the rigging crew. First, I want to thank the new members of the rigging crew for joining up. The rigging crew is just not a Facebook group. It's a monthly seminar we do through Zoom. The Facebook group is just there for communication and questions. I let guys email me that are not there's a lot of people that are not involved in Facebook anymore, which I don't blame them. So the guys are not involved. They email me. What's in the rigging group? What do we do? We go over lots of different things that I don't really talk about much, but I'll give you a little insight. I give insight on what depth the fish are in to guys every month, what's been happening, new lures that I'm using, new techniques that I'm finding out about that I don't share on the podcast, but I share exclusively with the rigging crew. Along with that, it's a nice community for meeting other people with like minds that a lot of guys are fishing together now. I screen the members, and I want to make sure that it's the right fit for my style. So, and the guys that are in the group are all like-minded. They're all like kicking ass, and it's way cool. So, and also too, the guys are getting to meet each other and fish with each other down here in the Keys. Some guys have boats and some guys don't. So it's just it's an awesome thing. So I'm really happy with the guys in the group and really proud of what they've done as far as their success goes on the water in such a short period of time. That's it. Everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out of the water. Be courteous. Be kind. Don't anchor in another man's chum slick. Don't drift through another man's chum slick. And that's all I got. Follow me on Instagram, Good Karma Sport Fishing _FL_Keys. And then check out my blogs on my website, goodkarmasportfishing.com. There's a couple really good blogs on there right now about dolphin fishing and lure selection. You're really going to enjoy reading through it. That's it. Safe weekend. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.